Hello and welcome back to Season 2, Episode 3 of Pilates with Marilyn. I'm Marilyn Harder, Pilates instructor and Pilates master trainer. Today, we are going to explore movement. So all you're going to need is a mat and your body. We are also going to be exploring body neutrality and body image resistance. So with that, we're going to go ahead and get started. So I want you to take a moment and plant your feet on the floor about the distance of your hip bones. Don't overly think about it. Try to imagine that your feet are one with the floor. You're not standing upon the floor, but you're really trying to find your connection with the earth. Spread those toes out wide, anchor the ball of your big toe and pinky toe side, and center the heel. We're going to start with some big freeing breaths. Don't try to hold your core here. Think about trying to expand your breath as big as you can. Let's take a nice big inhale in, sweeping those arms open. And exhale. Think about your feet being part of the earth and your arms are part of the sky. Can you spread yourself wider from the bottom to the top? Big inhale in. And exhale. Out the mouth, pushing out every stale molecule of air. We'll do one more time. Big inhale in. And exhale. Push those arms out further, reach in opposition and blow out all that air till there's nothing left. Notice how one you feel with your body. That's body image neutrality. So let's go ahead and turn to the side, toes in front of heels, same rooting experience into the earth, and without overly thinking it, we're just gonna sit down, arms float forward into your best pain-free squat. The second you feel the ball of your foot float up, you pause. You've gone a little too far for your body quite yet, and stand back up. So I want you to go ahead and control through this flow. Think about where my feet are part of the earth. Don't judge the hinge forward. Allow yourself to hinge forward as much as you need. There is better form, and then there's form that we're exploring. Don't judge it. Allow it to be what it is. Now, try and keep your trunk a little taller as you go through. See how I did that? This is our bodily connection, being part of our body, noticing what it's doing for us. Body image resilience, we've got about 8 more, is all about finding our body as a useful tool, connecting and honoring it through that use without looking at it and judging its external appearance, rather enjoying its internal feel and its purpose. We'll go ahead and go one more. I said 8, I lie, pause there. Okay, now I want you to go ahead and start to reach those arms forward, take your trunk with you. How do things change? Like you're sliding something across the counter. Now I want you to draw those elbows back and try and bring it into you. Can you stack up any taller without unweighting your feet? Let's explore that again. Sinking through, bring all of your attention into what's happening in your feet. Can you keep them part of the earth here? Ribs are drawn in. We'll go ahead and go one more. Hinge forward as far as you need. Maybe you sink down a bit more, and then draw it back nice and tall. Now pause when you feel like you're in a good place, and we're just gonna hold it here. Now let's get into that Pilates breath again. Big inhale in through the nose. Exhale, blow out all that air. Remember, we never want to be in a painful space. Keep breathing. If you're feeling your knees, you're not in your pain-free zone, come up a little bit more. Maybe you stack yourself taller. Maybe you look at your knees. Make sure that they're in front of those second toes versus knocking in or rolling out. Find the pressure pattern in that foot. We'll take one more good deep breath. And now we're going to go ahead and sink down an inch. I'm going to sweep those arms forward to counterbalance and draw it up an inch. Good. All right, so this is going to intensify the work. If it becomes too intense at any time, you just pause in that pain-free range, stand up, shake it out, and I want you to notice, are you powering through one leg more than the other? I will tell you 100% yes, I am, / was. So even out anything you're feeling. Just because you feel one leg more than the other doesn't mean you're dominating with it. So how do we know which one we're working more? You're gonna feel more resistance. So looking down, another tool is visually. Are my hips squared or are they shifted off to one side? Shifted off another. All right, usually you're gonna feel more resistance in the outer glute IT band of the leg we're dominating with. Last one. Now let's go ahead and stand it all the way up nice and tall. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and turn towards you, toes in front of heels, palms face forward. We're going to rotate. I want you to rotate with the joy of a child. Spread those toes wide, anchor those feet. Big inhale, let your whole body except your feet rotate. And exhale, come center. This is different than what I've told you before, keeping those hips square. Because I want you to see where freedom of movement takes you. Do you feel a place that is sticky? Pay attention to it. If you rotate too far, do you feel things complain in your knees? Maybe you feel a deep oblique fire just a bit more. Good, we'll go ahead and go one more. Just freedom of movement and come back to center. Let's stabilize the hips now and continue. As we inhale to rotate, I want you to imagine you grow taller through the crown of your head. Exhale, draw it back to center. Inhale to rotate. And exhale back to center. Is one side easier than the other? For me, rotating this way to the right is so easy. It feels free. I feel like my shoulder blade is sticking into my opposite glute pocket. And I come to center. Now when I rotate to the left, it feels like I'm fighting against a chain or a giant spring. I have to really focus. Shoulder blade to back pocket. Ooh, there's the connection. And come back to center. So I want you to turn to the side that you feel most resistance, and we're gonna go there. So I'm gonna turn to the resistant side, pause there, really find my glutes. If I'm turned to the left, I wanna focus on my right glute. If you're turned to the right, focus on your left glute. Now, take the same shoulder blade and try and rotate that open just a little bit more. Find that max place before you spasm. And I want you to try and take 3 exhales and crunch that way. And come back to center. Good, now let's go through that freedom of movement one more time. Hips and everything. And center. I will tell you, in my body, all of a sudden, I don't feel any knee resistance. Where I was feeling knee resistance when that pelvis rotated, I'm also feeling like my obliques are firing just a bit more. So turning your attention inward, we honor our body as a tool versus an object. So we are going to make our way down to the floor. And the way I'm going to have you guys do that is in that hinge squat we started with. So let's go ahead and sit back to that imaginary chair, the deepest, lowest imaginary chair. Now I want you to take that head and I want you to tip it forward, head and chest. Find that earth. Okay, now my goal for you, fingertips stay down and try and drop those buns to the floor. So we're gonna slowly take them forward. If the knees come forward, perfect. If the butt goes back, perfect. If you get to a point and you're like, I don't know how I'm gonna get down, which is kind of where I'm at right now, walk your hands back and just allow yourself to arrive. Don't judge it, just pay attention to it. All right, so once we're here on the floor, I want you to scooch to the front edge of your mat. Spread the toes wide. You can even bring the feet a little wider, maybe a little more mat distance. Let's go ahead and start with that just to explore. Hands are gonna come behind the back of the thighs, and I want you to make sure you're on the peaks of your sits bones and you can sit as tall as you can. If you need to hike your sits bones underneath you, do it. And take a nice good inhale here. And I want you to exhale, draw in through those abdominals and draw yourself back. Deep C curve. And inhale, draw it back up. Now I want you to notice, are you in the center of your mat? I've noticed that I'm not. So I want you to take your hand to the right and left side of your hips and adjust yourself into the middle. Now I'm in the center and I'm gonna feel different things. Inhale here. Exhale. Hollow through the deep belly. It's a seated C curve. And inhale back up. Now let's invite the back body in. Curl the heels towards your buns, towards the sits bones. Try and activate the hamstrings and the glutes, and let's do that again. Maintain your height here. And inhale back up. Let's go one more. Hollow into that deep low belly. Now I'm going to have you extend those arms to the hands to the heels. Roll your shoulders back and down, and we're going to do little pumps here, like our 100. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Remember, as we're inhaling, we're expanding our lungs, and as we're exhaling, we're deflating our lungs. Each sniff in inhales a fifth of the lungs till they're totally full. Each exhale empties them all the way out. Good, let's go ahead and stack back up. We are going to explore 100 roll down. So let's scoot forward. I'm going to bring my legs into parallel, find the sits bones, and I'm going into that deep sea curve. I'm going to flip my palms up to help hug the serratus anterior and the lat down the back, and then flip just the palms down. Eyes gaze towards those heels, towards the pubic bone. If you can, start to pump. Inhale. Exhale. Roll it down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Float the knees up into a tabletop position. Find that inner thigh squeeze and continue. Inhale. Chest lift up. Exhale. Hold it. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. Lower down. Good. Let's extend those legs up towards the ceiling. Maybe you can lower them down a bit. Explore that range for you. This is about it for my body and the warmth that it is. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, chest lift. Inhale, lower those legs. Exhale. Keep on going if you can. Inhale. Exhale. Now hold it there. Think about really lengthening and your body is floating. You're not muscling. Let it connect. And then go ahead and slowly make your way down to the mat. All right, we're going to bend those knees and prepare for some bridges. So before we bridge, let's just work out anything that's built up. I'm going to cross one ankle over the other knee and going into some freedom of rotation. Allowing that knee to drop out to one side, using that oblique, drawing the hip down to rotate to the other. My elbows are digging to help square my body and keep myself in the musculature rather than in the joints. Good. Now, as you continue to windshield wipe from right to left, I want you to see if you can go a little more movement without any distress in your body. Perfect. Don't think about the way your body looks. Think about the way your body feels. So personal objectification is any time that we prioritize our look over function or, usage of our body. Let's go ahead and cross the other side. This would be looking back on pictures of an amazing vacation with your family and thinking, I look blah, blah, blah in those pictures. I don't like the way my hair looks. I don't like the way that my outfit looks. I don't like the way my body looks. And you taint the memory and the experience of the moment with this objectification. Then the next time you wear that outfit or the next time you do that thing, all you can think about is that image in your mind rather than the enjoyment of the moment, enjoyment of the body. Okay, last one. Come back to center. Plant those feet. Spread your toes out wide, heels in line with your sits bones. Okay, we're going into a bridge. We're going to hinge first. I like palms up today. That's where it feels connected. Palms down if that feels good to you. I want you to dig your heels in towards your glutes. Really try and find the activation of those hamstrings. And I want you to exhale. Press to those heels. Press to the feet. They're one with the earth. And feel the glute squeeze. Lift those hips. And lower it down. Now I want you to think about the exploration of this movement. How do your hips feel? How does the back feel? Press that hip open and hinge it back down. And let's go ahead and go one more. Pause there. Do you feel anything sticky? I do a little bit in my low back. And for me, and knowing my body, I know that that's because my hips are not pressed forward. So I've got to press that pubic bone forward, dig the heels towards my butt, drop my ribs, and there the sticky point disappears. So body image, resilience, lower those hips back down and lift, is about becoming part and one with your body as a vehicle. So your body will give you information, rich, wonderful information, but we tend to judge or objectify that information. So when we connect with our body and instead saying, ooh, this move hurts me, you figure out another option to say, oh, this move makes me feel like I have power. And then you appreciate the body, and the body appreciates you. Last one. And let's go ahead and set the hips down. Now, I want you to really find freedom in your pelvis right now. So I want you to lift those hips up and just drop it down and thunk it. Let it be what a child's pelvis would be. Just release, not gripping anywhere. Let's do that again. Just lift the hips and let them go. All right, from this position, we're going into single leg stretch. So let your pelvis just stay heavy, just like this, and fold the knees in towards you. Don't curl them in, just let those knees be nice and heavy. All right, keeping that focus on that nice heavy pelvis. That's the only goal here. I want you to chest lift up. Curling up from the rib cage, find that activation, send one leg away. Can you keep that pelvis heavy and free without grip? Let that leg just float off the floor, shoulders back and down, deep neck flexors, pull it in. And switch. Heavy, 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 heavy pelvis. Find that alignment, pull it in, and switch. Now, if you feel like you've got it, that pelvis feels heavy, you can really keep it anchored without gripping. Speed up the movement a little bit. Find some freedom in that movement. Think about really flattening down the core. Now, when I say flattening down the core, I don't mean looking like a size 2 model, unless you are a size 2 model, then rock it, babe. I mean trying to find the internal musculature to flatten and widen that space. Find that internal space. Good, last one. Each way, you should feel some nice freedom through the hips. Bring those knees in and lay it on down. All right, let's go ahead and roll over onto our belly. If you've had enough today, this is a nice natural stopping point. If your body is saying, you know what, Marilyn, I got this, stay, join. Maybe you stretch and just listen for the message. All right, as we lay flat, I want you to just kind of lift that pelvis up again and let it drop flat. Just let it release. Elbows in by the ribs, hands are wide, and I want you to pull the elbows towards the pelvis. Now remember that rib flare. That's going to be the pivot point. So I want you to focus in on, without gripping your buns or squeezing the pelvis, just let it be heavy and press the pubic bone forward. Now exhale out completely. Pull the rib cage in. Now inhale for length and exhale. Start to peel up, lengthening through the spine, and continue to press forward. Shoulders draw back and down. And then slowly lower it down. Tap the elbows. Pause. Now, without using the arms, use your musculature of your mid-back, shoulders to glutes, to lower you the rest of the way down. Okay, that same musculature, we're going to draw the shoulders back and down. Lift it up. Don't let the ribs stay behind. Pull them away from the mat. Now push through those hands and lengthen. Notice when we draw our attention to things, our body follows. Good. Shoulders down, slowly lower them down. So we find body image resilience through use of our body and attention to that body. And go ahead and slowly lower it down. Now, things don't have to be perfect to be perfect for you. Okay, let's explore that again. And we're going to draw it up. Pull the rib cage up, away from the mat. Press through those arms. So what I mean there is that perfect for me is going to be perfect, different than you. I have that hypermobility disorder. So for me, I have to be super, super slow and mindful. Let's tap the elbows down, press it up, a little tricep push-up in swan. If this dumping into your low back, omit the tricep push-up, just go down and stretch. And we'll go ahead and go 2 more, shoulders back and down. But through body connectivity and body image resilience, I have found peace and actually pleasure and respect. And really even more than that, I have joyful experience of my body in all of its fun, because I know that fun is helping other people. So slowly lower it down. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and rest our hands down, head down on our hands. You can put your forehead on the hands or turn the head to the side, shoulders draw back and down. Now let's go ahead and lift that pelvis again and just let it thunk down. Just let it be what it's gonna be. Okay, let's walk those legs a little longer and then activate. Press the pubic bone forward, don't grip. Pull the ribs away from the mat, shoulders draw back and down. Now we're gonna hamstring curl. Think about trying to fire right up at that glute fold, right at the seat, pulling that heel in towards your glute. Now pause. Does it feel like everything's in a line? No, my knee feels like it's wide, so I'm gonna pull it a little narrower. Oh, there's my hamstring. It's nice and on fire. And I'm gonna kick it twice. And then lengthen it away. So one of the fun things about my body, let's go ahead and switch, is that I don't always know where I am in space. So I utilize a mirror. For me, that mirror was hard in the beginning. Let's kick it twice and lengthen it away. Because I spent all of the time objectifying my body, being like, oh, I can't do this ab work because look how big my belly looks. You know, look how big my butt looks. Gosh, my knees look wobbly and awkward. And I'm gonna give you a secret. No one cares. And that's really a freedom here, is that if you own your body with confidence, whatever it looks like, no one's even going to notice. Not at all. There is freedom in that. Some of the most beautiful people I have known would not, quote unquote, fall into the magazine standard of beauty. But it's their presence. It's them rocking what they got, not being apologetic for it. You know, healthy bodies look different. And I think that's what the body positivity movement is really trying to achieve. We've got one more here. But really what we want more than that is a focus on function. That's body neutrality. And let's go ahead and lengthen it away. We don't have to look at a specific part and say, ooh, I love that. But it's about us as a whole. Let's go ahead and sink our body weight back. Find a nice wide knee child's pose and sink it through. I've seen this a lot in the Pilates world, where instructors, and I am guilty of this too, is that we try to justify our appearance versus what we can share. Healthy bodies look different. You don't know where I'm starting. You don't know what I'm fighting with. I don't know what you're fighting with. And let's go ahead and roll over to one side. Okay, we're gonna find a lifted side position here. And I want you to kick your legs forward to the front of the mat. This is a little different than I usually have you set up. And I want you to try and find the length, crown to tailbone towards the back of the mat without arching through the back. Now, for experience, I want you to just drop and sag your rib. Notice how your body feels. Now, press through the entire arm, one with the floor, and find that length. See if you can imagine crown of the head, rib cage, hips and tailbone. Good. And let's go ahead and take the top leg in line with our body. We're going to lift it up just a little bit and internally rotate it. Mean toe and knee point to the floor. And we're going to do little circles. And I want you to experience this non-normal movement. And let's circle the other way. If this is not comfortable for your body, choose any of the modifications that I taught you guys in season 1. And then let's go ahead and sweep that leg forward, internal rotation still. We're now leg in line with leg. Pull your body in, internal rotation. There we go. So the trap that I've seen a lot of people fall into is justification of their existence. I'm an excellent Pilates instructor with a misshapen body. Oh girl, you are not. You are just an excellent Pilates instructor with a perfectly imperfect body. Small tip, everyone has a perfectly imperfect body. Let's go ahead and continue to rotate. Even those that you have judged as perfect, reverse it. You get into their head. In their objectification moments, they don't think so. Last one. Woo! Burning today. Let's go ahead and bring that in. We're gonna tuck the heels towards the buns and we're gonna press up to that seated position. So in this position, I want you to try and anchor down your hips as best as you can in this cockeyed position and trying to find the length through the spine. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and take that outside arm up and we're going to make sure our body is square. So I want you to go ahead and look down. Shoulders, bust, and hips. I'm slightly rotated. Let's see if I can draw my hip back. Now I'm square. Inhale to lengthen, side bend over. Side bends are not my friend because of the rotation in my scoliosis, because of my hypermobility disorder. Breathe into that lung, and we're gonna side crunch to the one side, unless I'm in perfect alignment. And stack back up nice and tall. That felt great. Reset if you need to. Feeling some cramping in my hip, which to me says my hip's off. Okay. And side bend again. And then I'm going to crunch it 3 times. And stack back up. You might be wondering, what am I doing with this hand? I'm making sure my rib and my hip are stacked versus rotated. Now let's take both hands up and we're going to go ahead and side bend the other way, rotate and catch our hands to the floor. Let it be what it's going to be. You're a child today. Now we're going into the swan we went in before. So I want to make sure that my hips are not gripping, they're free. That keeps my body out of pain. And I'm going to inhale like a chest lift to the floor. And exhale, draw those shoulder blades back and down with a focus on the outside shoulder blade, my back shoulder blade. And I'm going to do that again. Big inhale, lower. This one, if I grip, I set off a nerve. When I let my body be free for the motion, my body is happy. So I'm really just focusing on my shoulder blade in space. Head likes to take off. All right, after the last one, we're gonna go ahead and try and press up and rotate the other way. Woo, and rotate. Let's swing those legs around and let's do that entire series on the other side to finish us out today. All right, legs are to the front of the mat, hips are to the back of the mat, and we wanna be nice and flat, fingertip to elbow. Let's allow that rib to sag. Let's see what it feels like in space, and then lift and lengthen it up, right? We've got to draw back into our bodies and understand things so we can do it without judgment. All right, now let's take that top leg, lengthen it in line with the body, internally rotate that leg. Focus in on that glute med, 3 circles. So how do we build resilience in our daily life? I can't exercise 24/7, so what does that look like? Let's go the other way. I mean, I guess you could, but your body would really not appreciate it. And last one. Okay, bring it in line with the leg. Things we subconsciously do every time we pass a mirror, we'll subconsciously draw in away from the places we don't like. So we might see us rolling our shoulders up and down, or we might see us internally sucking in our belly, or we notice a wrinkle in our forehead and we flatten the forehead to make it go away. That is body image negativity. Let's sweep that leg forward, internally rotate and go. So here is your task for the week. When you walk by a mirror, smile at yourself, catch your own eyes and change nothing. Change nothing. You don't have to say, "Oh, I love you. I'm so proud of you. You look amazing." Just change nothing. Make it a non-event. That's resilience. Bring those legs in, tuck them in, and let's go ahead and push up. All right. Once you've pushed up, anchor those hips in space and take that outside arm up. Try and square your body off. Drop your hips. So once we make it a non-event, let's go ahead and look down at our body. Side bend over. Good, and breathe. All right, so once we make it a non-event, one more. Our mind no longer objectifies our body. I know that feels crazy, but it's true. And stack back up. And let's go ahead and do it again. Inhale, grow nice and tall. Exhale, side bend over. And let's crunch it 3 times. 3, 2, 1, and stack back up nice and tall. Square things out. Make sure you're not gripping. Double check your alignment. And let's go one more time. Side bend over and crunch it 3 times. And stack back up nice and tall. We're gonna bring both arms up, fall and rotate. So let me give you an example of our non-event. Let me get you in motion first. So remember, it's like a chest lift up, rounding forward at the ribs, and shoulders draw back and down in an extension. And let's do that again. I'm focusing in on my outside arm, trying to keep my neck in neutral. It's real easy for my neck to just want to bob along. But I'm trying to enjoy that space and that connection for me. Whew, this feels good. This one I wanted to round a little bit. I let my head follow. That's okay. Explore movement as a child. Okay, so non-events. Explore movement as a child. If you explore movement with the joy of a child, unworried about how anyone else will take you, calling you immature or any of those things that we like to externally judge people, we activate our body image resilience. Trick number 2, don't observe and judge anyone else. If something catches your eye and your internal judge says, ooh this or ooh that, I want you to correct it immediately. Let's go ahead and press up and find that position. Cross those ankles. We're gonna come to center, and we're gonna either give ourselves a little stretch here or in a seated figure 4. So I'm gonna cross one leg under, find a seated figure 4. I think this will feel good to me today. And I'm just gonna try and sit up nice and tall. Okay, and just breathe, just be here. Try to not grip, allow things to release. If this bothers your knee, a trick is you can flex that bottom foot to take some torque off and isolate that stretch here, or find something that doesn't feel good or that feels better to you. Seated figure 4 in a chair is an excellent option. So when that internal judge flares up, I want you to correct it. I want you to imagine that that is someone judging your child. See their internal beauty or handsomeness or specialness, something that you can go, oh, I love their boldness that they chose that today, versus like, oh my gosh, what is she wearing? The things that media and social settings teach us to do. And let's go ahead and switch. Another option in correcting yourself is, I don't accept that. Sit up nice and tall. When someone does something or says something that rubs us the wrong way, we can simply press it away by saying, I don't accept that. Don't say it out loud. Make it an internal process. I don't accept that. That's another thing that I do when I find myself objectifying myself in the mirror. I think my body is doing an awesome job of cooking dinner for my kids, teaching other people Pilates, and I don't accept that. And I'm able to walk through and make my movement in a picture, walking past a mirror, a non-event. You can usually find a giant smile on my face or a goofy look, no matter what I look like on the outside, and I will hone in on that and be like, look how much joy is in my face, or oh my gosh, my little quirky smile is killing me. Find those pieces that can, again, turn that into a non-event. All right, with that, I want to thank you guys for joining me in that exploration flow and examining our body image neutrality. So I thank you for supporting Pilates with Marilyn, and I will see you next time in episode 4. Practice self-care this week. You, my friend, are so worth it.